What's up guys, welcome to the video. It's Tizzer and it's been a week or two but I'm back and we're on the upload grind, and in this video I'll be talking about the best UFC prospects right now, and I'm going to be ranking them. But just to let you know, obviously not every prospect is going to be in this video, but in this video every prospect is a prospect I think is good, okay? So if your prospect's not on here, it's not that I think they're bad, I just don't think they're good enough to make this short list, okay? This, in my opinion, is the best prospects. And we're going to be ranking them from, least promising out of a good group to the most promising prospect, okay? So even if they're in last place or near the end of this rankings, I still think they're a good fighter, okay? I think they've got a good future. Everyone on here is going to be a good fighter, I'm sure. But yeah, so we're just going to dive into it. So starting off with the most unproven but still promising fighter, Raul Rosas Jr. Okay, we've all seen him fight. He's been really promoted by the UFC, and why wouldn't you? He's coming off the Dana White's Contender Series, and he's 18. So that's just huge promotion material from the UFC. They're probably going to want to do that youngest UFC champ thing. They're going to try and get him to champ state as quick as possible. Obviously, they're going to have to battle for John Jones's record, because he's got his when he was like early 20s, I think. So I don't know if that's going to be possible, but yeah, the kid's good. He's got good wrestling. He's got good jiu-jitsu, and he might actually be younger than me. And his stand-up though, it's worrying. He was getting pieced up by Jay Perrin. That's not good. Okay, no disrespect to Jay Perrin, but his stand-up's okay. But he was taking some big hits for the first minute of that fight. But when he gets it to the ground, he's good, especially for an 18-year-old. You've got to consider this guy's going to get better for at least 5 years, maybe 10 years, kind of depending on how well he develops his skill set. But for an 18-year-old, he's super promising, and I don't know if he can be champion. We haven't seen enough of him yet. He looked more promising on the Dana White's Contender Series. He dropped a basically flawless performance. He didn't really lose a round or anything on that, and that got him the contract on the UFC. And obviously he finished Jay Perrin in the first round, but he was getting tagged on the feet. So if he improves his boxing, we're looking at a dangerous contender in, I think he's a bantamweight, but I'm gonna be honest, the guy's small, like he's like 5'8", I think 5'9" maybe, and he's skinny. His arms are skinny, right? He can make flyweight, okay. You're gonna have to cut, and it's not gonna be nice, but I think he can make flyweight, and he's gonna be a big flyweight as well. He's gonna be like a Davison Figueroa flyweight, so he can just weight bully everyone there. I think he should do that if he can make it. But yeah, promising future, and he's definitely gonna be ranked in the next year or two. I don't think he's gonna lose unless he gets knocked out, okay? Because his stand-up's got holes. If someone can stop the takedowns, he's in trouble. But yeah, and also he isn't that big for bantamweight, I don't think. I think there's a lot of big if he goes against a big bantamweight who can grapple, he's going to have a hard time finding that takedown. But yeah, anyway, moving on, we've got Ian Gary, and he's Irish. He's just a good kickboxer, He's got the basics controlled. His spacing's really good. His timing's good, and his hands are good, and his footwork's really good too. And before he came into the UFC, he was knocking people out left, right, and centre. He was looking good, and he has looked good in the UFC, but he can't find them killer finishes. He's only finished one guy, and to be honest, I think the reason is he just doesn't have knockout power. He just doesn't have that power. The only time he's going to be finishing people is when the volume's adding up and their chin's just cracking. Like third round, they've taken like 30 big strikes on the head. And it's just that there's one or two in a combo that just send them kind of stumbling backwards onto the ground, and you can get like a ground and pound finish. I think that's the kind of the finishes he's going to get, because I just don't see the one punch knockout power in him. But he's a great fighter still. We just need to see the grappling, but I'm sure it's good. He's looked sharp, even in clinches and stuff. He's looked good, so I'm sure the grappling's alright. And if he can nail that, he's gonna be ranked soon. I think this win might even get him ranked. He's on like a 4-fight UFC win streak, so you gotta be looking at ranking him soon. But he's young, he's 26, so he's very promising. Do I think he can be champion one day? I mean, you gotta compare him with like Leon Edwards, and let's be honest, Leon is a lot better than him. But Leon is also 6 years or so older than him, so Gary's got a lot of time to improve his skill set. He's a nice guy, he's good on the mic, and I like him. And I think in the future, he's definitely going to be within the top 10 ranked in his prime. So yeah, and who knows, maybe even challenging for the belt, I don't know. I couldn't guarantee it, but I can guarantee you he'll be in the number 10 ranked at some point in his career. So I look forward to seeing what's next to him. Moving on, Tatsuro Taira. This guy, he's Japanese. He's like 22 or 23. Oh my god, he's good, okay? His most recent performance, I know the guy he was fighting was a nobody, respectfully, but he looked so good. He was good in the stand-up. He had no problems there. He took him down, or he got taken down, I can't remember. And he dropped a flawless ground masterclass, you know. He looked so good on the ground. He looked like a black belt in jiu-jitsu against someone who's coming for the first training session kind of thing, you know. He got like, I can't even remember, I think it was like a triangle, I think, with like an arm as well, or something like that. It was a few months ago, I can't remember. But yeah, the guy is crazy good, you know. And he's definitely going to be a champion in his life. Considering he's 23, he's only going to get so much better in the next 5 years, and he's going to get in his prime in like 6, because of flyweight, you know, your prime's like your late 20s, I'd say. And yeah, I think this guy beats the champions, you know. Give him time and he'll beat them. I really don't think that when this guy's improving even more, anyone can stop him, because already he looks very well rounded, you know. He's got good stand up, good ground game. I guess the only question is his cardio and his chin. Can it hold up, you know? But there's only one way to find that out. Fight high rank guys and you'll soon see. But I'm backing Tatsuro Taira to become a champion, okay? I think in the next 3 years he will be the flyweight champion. And he's really promotable for Japan. Yeah, he's obviously going to be huge for them there. They can do a main event with him on like a fight night, maybe in a few years when he's got a bit of hype, or like a main. He could be on like the co-main event on a card, or like the main event on a flyweight title fight if he gets to that position in a few years in Japan. But yeah, great fighter. He seems intelligent, good on the mic. I think he speaks Japanese though. Like, I don't think he speaks English yet, you know what I mean? But you know, he can always try and learn it. It just makes him even more promotable for the UFC, because obviously it's a English-speaking promotion. But yeah, nice, likable guy, great fighter. And moving on, I've got Gelton Almeida. Okay, he's a heavyweight and a light heavyweight. You might not have heard of him. You know, he's kind of been flying under the radar of a few people. But and also he's a bit older. I think he's 31. But this guy's probably gonna be champ. Okay. I don't know whether he's going to be champ at heavyweight or light heavyweight. I don't know, because he's been fighting at both, so I'm just confused at where he's fighting all the time now. I don't know if he's a heavyweight or a light heavyweight. It's a bit confusing. He just seems like he's racking up like wins to get money or something. I don't know, but the guy's good, okay? He's very, very strong. I don't know how, okay? I don't know how he's that strong, you know what I mean? But yeah, the guy just shoots double legs. The person knows they're coming. They just can't stop them no matter what, you know. The guy's wrestling is good, and he always finds finishes. Yeah, he's really lethal, and he just he does like 2 front kicks and shoots, and it always works somehow. I don't know how no one's figured that out, but he needs to be careful at the top of the division, because some guys are going to figure that out, you know. But I think he has probably the best grappling in both divisions. Maybe not as good as Curtis Blades, but yeah, the guy's good, and I think he should stick to light heavyweight, because then he's got a huge size advantage, because this guy is a heavyweight, okay? He's a big weight bully in light heavyweight. He's strong. He can just, some of the light heavyweights look like middleweights who can't be bothered to cut, and he will destroy them, okay? It doesn't even matter if they're a better fighter. He will just weight bully his way to victory. And he's getting finishes, and he's looking really dominant when he's doing it, so I'm enjoying it as a fighting fan. And he can probably get that light heavyweight strap, because if you look at the guys who are in contention for the title right now, you've got Hale as champion. I know he looked good against Glover, but he's 43, so I don't think his wrestling's good enough to compete. And you've got Yuri Braska, and I don't think his wrestling's good enough. I think he beats both of them if he can get the takedown. He can probably find a finish. And yeah, he's got hands too. His boxing's not that clean, but he's got power, so the threat's always there. But yeah, this guy, I'm going to be predicting at least a title contender. I think he'll fight. I can't guarantee he'll win, but you never know. I think he's got a good chance of being champion as well. Okay, So that's Joe and Almeida. Moving on. The battle for number 2 and number 1 is a bit difficult because it's kind of hard. One of them's kind of unproven, and one of them is proven, but we haven't seen holes in his. We haven't seen certain aspects of his game still, which is kind of contradictory because he's had a lot of fights. But for number 2, I'm gonna be going Bo Nickel, okay? And Bo Nickel is a wrestling phenomenon. He is one of the best wrestlers in America, and when he went to UFC, he's been destroying people. He obviously, his takedowns are insane. I'd rate them a 10 out of 10. His ground game's pretty insane. Obviously he's got the wrestling base, so he can just get into any wrestling position he wants. His scrambles are insane, and he's been using jiu-jitsu in his last fight. His jiu-jitsu was so slick, you know, tying up that transition to the triangle. That was insane. And if he's improving his jiu-jitsu as well, this guy's gonna be like one of the most dangerous guys of all time on the ground. You know, we're talking like Khabib level wrestling, with like, if he improves his jiu-jitsu, which he is, I've been seeing it on his social media. He's constantly training jiu-jitsu. We're talking like high level jiu-jitsu here. He's gonna be a huge threat, even on bottom it seems like. But yeah, Bo Nickel, good, and also because of the takedown threat, no one wants to end up with this guy on the ground. People just are like this, you know, they got their hands dropped. You know, they're waiting for the reaction of Bo to shoot, and he just goes over the top with huge hooks and overhands, and he's always landing as well, and he's got mad power. This guy can put you to sleep, you know. He landed a huge shot on his last opponent on the Contender Series. Dana White tried to get a free fight out of him on the Contender Series, which I thought was so stupid. He dominantly won his first fight, and then Dana White said, no, we need more of him. No, Dana, you just want to see him fight in the UFC to get promotion, you know, more promotion for free, because then you don't have to pay him, okay? But who cares? He's got a contract now, and he's being signed, and he's fighting Jamie Pickett at UFC 285, and I expect a round 1 finish. So come back to this video when he finishes him in round 1, because it's gonna happen, okay? He's gonna land a takedown or knock him out, and yeah, he's just really promising. To be honest, he looks to me like he could make welterweight, you know. I feel like he's got kind of like a relatively high percentage of body fat. He's not super defined, so you know, I reckon he could make a nasty cut, but he could make it to welterweight. But if he's winning at middleweight, there's not really a point. But you know, when you come to the top of that division, you got people like Pereira, very big. You know, I feel like he might find it difficult against super big guys like that. But then again, you've also got really skinny guys like Adesanya, and I think he ragdolls him in wrestling and then finds a submission. But yeah, this guy's got championship potential, definitely. I can see him being champ in the future, as long as he continues to improve. He's really young still. I think he's like 26 or 25. But yeah, Bo Nickel, you know, he's a hype train, and I don't see him being derailed anytime soon until he gets to like the top 10 ranked guys. But until then, he's going to get W's all day, and I still think he can get W's in the top 10. So that's why he's at number 2. And the number 1 most hyped prospect, in my opinion, you know, if your guy didn't make the list, I'm sorry, but right now it's got to be Jack Della Maddalena, okay? This guy is young, and his boxing is basically S-tier, you know. He has S-tier striking, and he doesn't even really use kicks. He uses leg kicks, but that's it. He doesn't really use body kicks or head kicks, you know. He's just got really good boxing fundamentals. So when your striking's that good, imagine what happens when he uses kicks. And I'm not saying he should, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know. And he's knocking people out left, right, and centre. He just finished Randy Brown in round 1. And Randy Brown, in my opinion, is basically a nightmare matchup for him. He's really long and rangy, and he's basically a weight bully for the welterweight division. So to see Jack Della Maddalena knocking him out in the first round just promised to me that this guy's going to go far, you know. The only thing is, which is why I don't think he's like undeniably going to be a champion, because I do think he's probably got the best striking in welterweight. You know, maybe Leon goes toe-to-toe with him, but Jack Della Maddalena's got way more power. His grappling is unproven, okay? And I know he's got taken down and got back up, but that was against guys who aren't, you know, the top wrestlers in the world. You know, you got to think about your Usmans, even your Edwards, you know, he can get takedowns, we've seen. And when it's against those guys, and your Covenants, you know, when it's against those kind of caliber guys, you've got to question, is first of all, is your grappling good enough, and is your cardio good enough? Because that's unproven, but it's not his fault, so I'm not going to mark him down for that. He finishes everyone in the first round. He's never been out of the first round in the UFC, as far as I'm aware. And there's a reason he's probably the strongest puncher in welterweight, you know, in welterweight history maybe. And yeah, huge credit to him. His boxing's insane, and I think this guy can basically finish any guy within a round nearly in welterweight as long as he doesn't get taken down. I think he's way better at boxing than Usman. I think he's got better boxing than Edwards, but I think the kicking could be a problem. But those are all fights that I'd love to see in the future, and he seems really nice, and the Aussies love him, obviously, because why wouldn't you? He's doing your country so much proud. He's doing your country proud, so yeah, huge respect to him. And there's my list, guys, and obviously I've missed people out just for time constraints and stuff like that. But I hope you enjoyed it, and some of them are interchangeable. I think a lot of guys could battle for that #1 spot. You could probably put Tetsuro in there as well, but we need to see him fight someone who is good as well, okay? Because the guy he beat wasn't good, but I think he wins anyone, really. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below, and tell me who your favourite prospects are. And there's going to be more content now. I've been busy, and I can't decide whether or not to do a fight prediction video on Krylov versus Span, because that card is terrible, and it's going to do like 5 buys on that pay-per-view max. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. See ya.